Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today for Let's Get Down to Business. Today, I'm really excited to interview Hanneke Antonelli, who is a business coach, author, and speaker. Welcome, Hanneke. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you, Carrie. And thank you so much for having me today. I'm very excited to be here and to do this interview with you and for the listeners.
Absolutely. It's great to connect. Could you just start us off by briefly describing your business?
Yeah, so I am a business coach and I work with small businesses who are around that seven-figure mark who want to scale their businesses by increasing their profits, their freedom, and their team satisfaction. And usually these are visionaries. These folks are visionaries. They are people who are living unconventional lives, and they have a desire to create jobs that are not just your usual job, but actually allow their employees to bring their passions and purpose to their work, but also give them enough compensation and balance so that they can also have time to do what they love in their free time. So I come in and I'm a wing woman for these people, and I help them to create better systems and strategies that support them and their teams. And then that helps the business owner to free up time so that they can really focus on those factors that really matter to scale up a business.
Very, very cool. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I really enjoy the work. So, yes, I think it's cool.
That's great. And what inspired you to start your business?
You know, it's interesting because thank you for sharing the interview questions beforehand, by the way. And as I was thinking about that, I was like, actually, I don't think inspiration came first for me. It was more a desire for my own freedom, and also to escape some pretty toxic work environments that I was in on Wall Street. And I speak about that quite a bit in my book, The Uplevel Project. But um, so I often call myself an accidental entrepreneur because in my quest to just get out of Wall Street, I accidentally started a Pilates brand and built it up to an award winning status in about 3 years or so. And then at that point, I was sort of starting to go, okay, what's next? Like, this isn't what I want to be doing in 10 years from now. And so coaching was the thing that really spoke to me because it saved my own life. Like, it helped me in so many ways. It helped me to overcome depression. It helped me to get out of that Wall Street job. It helped me to literally manifest my husband on a beach in Portugal. And so, I was like, okay, so if I pull my passion for coaching and to help people with my passion for business and building things, then, this is going to be fun. And then by doing that, that's when the inspiration came where, like, I wanted to help these other business owners who have these big purposes and impacts and desire to just really create amazing visions, and I could support them and essentially build 1,000 businesses, which, because
Right.
if I just did my own business, I would just be building one. And I really enjoy and thrive on that excitement of seeing something come to fruition and building things up. So yeah, working with business owners was like the one that I was like, this is great. I'm going to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. And what led you to write your book, The Uplevel Project?
So this was a calling. I actually never saw myself as a writer. This is a second language. English is a second language for me. Um, I was always like the numbers person at school. And so language just wasn't really something where I was like, oh, let's write a poem. That was never my thing.
Mhm.
But so this calling kind of just came from realizing that I had this very unique story to share, and that my story could really impact others and empower them and give them courage and help them with whatever they're dealing with. So just a little bit of a backstory. I am the survivor of sexual assault. I have overcome depression. I have been in a psychiatric ward. And I've had and then I've also moved countries 3 times and had to start from scratch. And, so there's been a lot of trauma and challenges in my life. And as I mentioned, self-actualization and coaching was a big part in how I overcame all of this. And so wanting to bring that story to whomever it could help out there was really the thing that led to me writing this book and bringing it into the world.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely sounds like a good story, a good read. How has being an author impacted your business?
So, with that, I would say, so being having a book, it's a great lead magnet for people, right? It's a great way to get people to know, like, and trust you. So I would say right there,
Mhm.
it sort of solidified and elevated my brand and also my credibility as an author and as a business coach. And what it also helped, which I didn't, was sort of like the byproduct, is it's really solidified my marketing message. And it's really showed me who I am here for and who I'm not here for. And, whenever you start a business, and specifically if you are a service business, and the main message that you hear is like, pick your niche. And my niche essentially picked me, which is also something they teach you in coaching school. They're like, don't worry, your niche is going to pick you. And my niche definitely picked me for sure. But what helped here is like going through all these stories, writing all these tidbits, it really helped me to get super, super clear and niche down into, I'm really here for that $1 million business owner. And they are in service business. And usually they are the brick and mortars of this world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very well articulated. Love
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
What do your clients say they love most about working with you?
So this one's kind of funny because I'll often get like a message of like, because my private clients get access to me via this app called Voxer. And I always laugh because a couple of them will like pop in and go, okay, so I need some Hanneke magic in my life right now. And it usually is because they're trying to make decisions, or, there's a challenge or a snafu that happened. And the thing that they appreciate most about me that I've noticed that all of them say is my no BS approach. So I call them out on anything where I'm like, nope, you're out of alignment of what you told me your vision was, and you told me you wanted to accomplish here. And, as a business owner, nobody's going to push back on you. The buck stops with you, but therefore also everybody else, managing up, there's art to hiring people who are going to manage up to you, which is what I also essentially help my businesses to do, right? Is to get someone on their team that can also manage up. And specifically, if you can get a virtual assistant or an assistant that can do that, you could be golden. But, so I don't sugarcoat things, and I really just keep them honest. And I'm not just like the yes ma'am and the, oh my word, this is so amazing. I'm like, did you really think that through? And is that really with what you want? So that's definitely what they really appreciate about me. And then the other thing that they love about working with me is my ability to help them to tap into what they want and give them clarity and make it something that is unique to them and how they function in their business, and then pulling strategy in on top of that versus the other way around. And then there's so many things, like I am their biggest cheerleader, I'm their wing woman, but I'm also that person that's going to come in with that different perspective and push back on them.
So my next question is, what motivates you?
Yeah, this is another really, really great question. So innately, I want to say I'm an extremely driven person. I've just always been someone who gets stuff done. It's just, I was born with it, I suppose. But the thing that really like motivates me is the desire to live an unconventional, out of the box life. And when I look back over my life, I have this huge desire to be able to go, I took all of the gifts, all of my talents, all of the opportunities that I was given. That is a huge privilege to receive, and I ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing that really inspires me, but also motivates me, is to help my clients get those visions out into the world. And I know it sounds corny, but I get huge satisfaction out of getting a new client. And usually when they come in and they start working with me, they're in this very overwhelmed moment in time, which is, if you're there right now as an entrepreneur, this is normal. This is every entrepreneur has that moment of like, oh my God, this is so much bigger than I thought it was going to be. And now I'm totally overwhelmed. And what I love is like seeing them and sort of intercepting them at this moment where they cannot see the vision anymore. They don't know the next step forward. And then a couple of months of us working together is seeing how they start to see the possibilities and seeing how they build back that confidence and the trust in themselves. And then all of a sudden, the vision just gets bigger. And I love that. That's just, it really inspires and motivates me. Yeah.
Yeah, just seeing all the potential.
Yeah. And that's huge gratification to me, but it also just feels so like, yes, you've got this. You're awesome. Because
Yeah,
they are, like, these
yeah,
entrepreneurs are amazing beings, and the stuff that they come up with, you're just like, how'd you even think about that? Like,
yeah.
yeah. So
So fun.
yeah, super fun. I enjoy it.
And what's something you've learned from your business
Ooh,
over the
this
years?
was such a hard lesson, that bringing it back to that, being that person who's extremely driven. My drivenness can take over to the point where it leads to like actually working against me, right? Like where it knocks your confidence because you're not achieving as much as you want to, as fast as you want to, and all those usual things that all of us at some point struggle with. But so my biggest lesson that I had to learn in business was patience. I don't like patience. Nobody likes patience, but patience, but also learning to trust myself, and to trust my business to be the vehicle that will provide, even when you're having a really rough month or a couple of months. And then the other thing that I didn't anticipate is how much self-development would play into the success of your business, and how those two go hand in hand. And so if you're not doing self-development, then that's going to impact your business, because your business has this very nasty way of throwing all these things, like all your insecurities up at you, right? And triggering you, or giving you this feedback that you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know this was an issue for me. And so those are the two, or the three big things. But then the other thing is something that I preach over and over again and again, like it's in my book. It's when you focus on what you want, if you just stay focused on that, the strategy will reveal itself. Like your next step is going to reveal yourself. And some of us have been blessed with personality types that can see the vision plus every single step that's going to get you there. And some of us have been blessed with this really strong inner knowing of we're on the right path. We can see there is the vision. We don't know how we're going to get there, but we know the next best step to take. And so that's been a huge lesson as well.
Awesome. Do you have anything exciting coming up that you want to share?
Yeah, so my podcast actually has been on a little hiatus. Last year, after launching the book, I took a little bit of a break with content creation in general. But it's coming back, and I've got some very exciting interviews coming up with fellow $1 million business owners, along with some, those are like longer form, but then we have this new little thing, which will be this special bonus insights episodes, which are going to be these quick nuggets of like 5 to 10 minutes of entrepreneurs just sharing really good bite-sized advice that will motivate and inspire listeners and help them to grow their businesses as well. So the Uplevel Project podcast is where you can go and find that on any platform, the Uplevel Project podcast.
Great. Look
Yeah.
forward to that.
Yes. Yeah. I'm excited.
And what is the best way for anyone watching to reach out to you and learn
Oh,
more?
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So I am on Instagram, but I think the quickest way to get me, because my name is such a mouthful, and like, how do you even spell that, right? Is to just go to the uplevelprojectbook.com, and that is going to redirect you to my website, and then you'll be able to find me anywhere. Because you
Great.
can then from there Google my name, and I'll come up on Instagram and LinkedIn and everywhere else where people hang out these days.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Hanneke, thank you so much for your thoughtful answers today, and it was a great interview. I appreciate your time. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, thank you so much, Carrie. I really appreciated this. And again, if anybody has follow-up questions, our listeners, thank you for listening. It's always such an honor to do these interviews. So thank you.
Yes, and thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time. Take care.